Part 31. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wu Nian. Chapter 301. But, so what? Chen Mu didn't think much about it, he was ready to continue to devour the nearby celestial bodies. Suddenly, a voice came. Dad. Hearing this voice, Chen Mu stopped and looked at the source of the voice. 3 beautiful figures were flying in the void, looking at himself as a black hole. Those 3 beautiful figures were the nine-tailed fox, Lve, and Cheng. The person who just spoke was the nine-tailed fox. Why did they come? Chen Mu was a little confused. You know, the Milky Way's center black hole is very, very far away from the blue giant. The planets on the blue giant can't see the situation here, at least not with the naked eye. But they know. After thinking about it, Chen Mu made a guess. Could it be technology? He had been away for too long, and the technology on the blue giant had developed to the point where the Milky Way's center black hole could be observed. Thinking of this, Chen Mu separated a figure from his body, transformed into an angel form and appeared in front of the 3 people. Seeing Chen Mu's appearance, the 3 people's eyes lit up. The nine-tailed fox immediately smiled, Dad. Hearing this awkward name, and looking at the nine-tailed fox's joyful expression, Chen Mu regretted it for a while. If he had known that when he created the nine-tailed fox again, when she called him Dad, he would have asked her to change the name. How do you know I'm here? The nine-tailed fox explained, we have a galaxy satellite that can observe the entire Milky Way. It's really technology. Chen Mu said, how long have I been away from the blue giant star? Ancestor, you have been away for 230,000 years, Lve said with a smile. Chen Mu was slightly startled. 230,000 years, this is too long. According to Chen Mu's memory, he actually came to the location of the Milky Way's center black hole twice and devoured the Milky Way's center black hole. He has no memory of the devouring, so in his opinion, the time of devouring is equivalent to nothing. It turns out that time has passed so quickly. Chen Mu said, how is the civilization you manage? The nine-tailed fox smiled and said, Dad, the demons I created have been passed down for many generations. Now their technology has also made great progress. They can already use the warp engine to fly from the Milky Way to other galaxies within a week. After saying this, the nine-tailed fox looked at Chen Mu, looking at Chen Mu expectantly, waiting for Chen Mu's approval. Looking at the nine-tailed fox's eyes full of expectation, Chen Mu nodded slightly and said, well done. The nine-tailed fox was happy. Chen Mu looked at Lve and Cheng. Lve smiled and said, the civilizations of our 7 planets are the same. Because of the advanced technology, the warp engine is used between planets to connect the time and space gate. Through the time and space gate, you can reach another planet in an instant. Because the distance is shortened, various cultures and technologies have been integrated accordingly. The current technological development of the 7 planets is similar. In fact, if civilization is allowed to develop on its own, even within a planet, it will split into several civilizations, and these civilizations can also be high and low, and it is difficult to develop unity. But at present, the 7 planets on the blue giant star side have been taken care of by the main gods at the beginning, so it is easier to develop and can be unified. Chen Mu nodded slightly, you have done a good job. Thank you for your hard work. Lve's face was filled with joy, and Cheng's face was also smiling. The reason why the angels created civilization and cultivated these lives with great effort was just because of Chen Mu's intention. In order to create and cultivate these civilizations, Lve, Cheng, and the nine-tailed fox spent a lot of time and effort. And after all this effort, it was enough for them to get this sentence from Chen Mu. At the same time, on a hidden artificial planet in the Milky Way, there are various buildings with strange styles. Under a giant stone pavilion as big as a mountain, there is a table, and in front of the table, there are many creatures with 4 ears and double pupils. Above the table, a 3-dimensional map of the Milky Way is displayed. You can also see where Chenmu is. The newly appeared black hole in the center of the Milky Way intends to swallow up the entire Milky Way. There are countless civilizations in this Milky Way. If it swallows up all the civilizations in the Milky Way, our civilization will lose its natural barrier and will be exposed to the vision of advanced civilizations on other planets. Before our technology is not enough to deal with them, they will not care about us, but if our technology is about to surpass them, they will never leave us alone, and our civilization will suffer a devastating blow. For this reason, the black hole in the center of the Milky Way must be stopped. ISI's information database was erased, leaving no information, and we don't know what happened after AISI launched an attack on the black hole. The opponent's strength is unknown, but one thing is certain, AISI was erased by him, he is an enemy, and can only attack. But at present, it seems that material attacks and general consciousness attacks are not very effective. We need to find a suitable opportunity. These guys are communicating through quantum communication. No one spoke, but the voice was transmitted in each other's minds. At this moment, suddenly, those people raised their heads. Everyone looked at the scene displayed on the 3-dimensional screen in front of them. I saw a body separated from the huge black hole. That body had wings and looked similar to them. When they saw this thing, their eyes lit up. He moved the consciousness body and put it in the new carrier. The black hole carrier has an invincible physical resistance, but the new carrier does not. We can directly attack his carrier. When the carrier is torn, the consciousness will also be shaken. Then we will fire the consciousness erasing cannon to destroy its consciousness. This is an opportunity. Attack. Accompanied by the sound. One of the female Yaoi people raised her hand and operated on the table in front of her. At this moment, in the void that was originally empty, 2 silver metal planets appeared out of thin air. The shape of the metal planets was changing, and in the blink of an eye they turned into 2 huge planetary cannons. The muzzle of the planetary cannon quickly collected energy. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang. The 2 planetary cannons shot out 2 beams of light, one red and one blue, directly into the 2 time and space gates. At the same time, to the right of Chenmu's position, 2 time and space gates opened out of thin air. Chenmu saw a red light coming towards him. The attack range of that beam was extremely wide, covering Chenmu, Nine-Tailed Fox, Lve, and Qing in an instant. Chenmu could feel a burning breath. Then there was a white light in front of his eyes, and he could not see anything. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 302. The first star cannon is a planetary-level plasma laser cannon. This plasma laser cannon uses planetary-level artificial planets as weapons and uses stellar energy as energy to fill and fire. This temperature is close to hundreds of millions of degrees, enough to destroy any known non-artificially synthesized matter in the universe. After this plasma planetary laser cannon bombarded Chenmu and the other 4. The result? It was useless. Because Chenmu's instant adaptation can adapt to any environment. After so many years of adaptation, his instant adaptation ability is not afraid of any high temperature at all. This plasma laser cannon bombarded Chenmu, just like a spring breeze, without any effect. The same is true for the Nine-Tailed Fox, Lve, and Qing. When the red plasma laser passed by, the 4 of them stayed where they were without any damage. This kind of physical attack is useless for them who have instant adaptation. Chenmu also realized that a group of guys were aiming at him and using the time and space gate to attack. Chenmu was a little unhappy, but before Chenmu could react, suddenly, another time and space gate opened next to it. A blue light shot out and enveloped the 4 people again. Chenmu frowned. Again. Those guys didn't know that they had the ability to adapt instantly, So they wanted to kill themselves through continuous attacks? Isn't it too stupid? At the same time, in the Yai civilization, the pictures shown in the three-dimensional map were reflected in the eyes of all the warriors of the Yai civilization. The plasma laser cannon is useless. The opponent's carrier seems to have a very high density and strong resistance to high temperatures. The strong carrier does not mean that the consciousness is also strong. The consciousness destruction cannon, as long as it hits, can destroy all their consciousness. If the consciousness is destroyed, it is no different from death. At this time, the voice of the system sounded in Chen Mu's ears. The information database was attacked, the damage degree is 1 billionth, and the backup information is being mobilized for automatic repair. The repair has been completed. When this voice sounded, Chen Mu immediately realized that this second attack was not a physical attack, but an attack directly against the information database. The information base, we also call it consciousness, sometimes it is also called soul, but the term soul is not serious, it is more metaphysical. Therefore, consciousness is the most appropriate. The consciousness of a life can be strong or weak. Just like the density of matter, when the consciousness of a life is enough and the density is high enough, then no matter what kind of consciousness attack, it cannot shake the consciousness. Chen Mu's information base is not only his own information, but also the information base of others that he obtained by reading other people's information bases and swallowing ability. During this long period of time, the hugeness and density of Chen Mu's information base have almost reached an unimaginable level. Even planetary-level consciousness-destroying weapons cannot destroy Chen Mu's consciousness. At most, they can only cause Chen Mu to suffer a little damage, and then the consciousness has the ability to self-repair. A little loss can be self-repaired. But the problem is, the blue light disappeared. Chen Mu looked at the three people in front of him. The three people were looking at the source of the attack, but their eyes had lost their luster. Unlike Chen Mu's swallowing ability has been upgraded, and after swallowing, he can obtain other people's information bases at the same time. As the black hole at the center of the Milky Way, he had devoured many civilizations without his knowledge, so he had accumulated a huge information base. But the nine-tailed fox, Lvi, and Qing were different. Their information base came from themselves. Although they had accumulated for hundreds of thousands of years, their information base was still not much, and the density of the information base was not enough to withstand the impact of the planet-level consciousness destruction cannon. Under Chen Mu's gaze, the three bodies began to break. The first to break was the nine-tailed fox closest to the black hole at the center of the Milky Way. The nine-tailed fox had the instantaneous adaptability that Chen Mu shared with her, so she had the ability to live forever. In the eyes of the nine-tailed fox, she could not die. But when death became impossible, sometimes the nine-tailed fox would inexplicably think about the meaning of death. Once, it was too boring, and the nine-tailed fox counted the meaning of her life. To live naturally, you have to find something happy to do, and the thing that can make you happy is to stay with her creator, her father, Chen Mu. But Chen Mu had been gone for too long, too long. It was so long that the nine-tailed fox felt that she had lost the meaning of living. She fantasized about what would happen if she died like those fragile lives. If I die, my father will definitely be very sad. Will he cry for me? Besides my father, what will other people think? Will he be happy? Or will he be sad? The nine-tailed fox thought for a long time, and finally she interrupted her thoughts with a sentence. If I die, there will be nothing. This is not something I should think about. Anyway, I will not die. As long as I live, I will definitely see my father again one day. And at this moment, the pupils of the nine-tailed fox lost their luster. After losing the consciousness, the instant ability determined that the carrier was not its target, so the instant adaptation ability failed, and her body was slowly torn apart by the invisible force. The second one is green. Liu Yi also thought about death. It is not a good thing to have a life that is too long. A long life will give birth to loneliness. Loneliness is more terrible than death. People who have not experienced loneliness do not understand the weight of loneliness. Some psychologists say, people may be able to endure various pains such as hunger or oppression, but it is difficult to endure the most painful of all pains, loneliness. For ordinary people, loneliness is unbearable, but like Liu Yi, who has a long life, she feels loneliness for hundreds of thousands of years. That feeling is more uncomfortable and more desperate than death. Sometimes, she even envies those fragile lives and envies that they can die. But Liu Yi has faith. She was created by Chen Mu. Chen Mu is everything in her life, and he is the meaning of her existence. The order given by Chen Mu brings the meaning of survival to Liu Yi, allowing her to persist in living. But Liu Yi never expected that death would come so suddenly. Liu Yi's consciousness was destroyed, and her body slowly collapsed like the nine-tailed fox. The third one is Qing. Qing is different from the nine-tailed fox and Liu Yi. She often descended to the human world, contacted the surrounding things in the posture of an ordinary person, and she also met many people and made many friends as an ordinary person. But, in the end, these friends died. As time went by, Qing began to give up the idea of making friends with ordinary people. But Qing paid more attention to those ordinary people, so she didn't feel lonely. She didn't like death either, and hated death. And she never thought that death would suddenly come to her. The bodies of the three people slowly turned into dust that could not be seen by the naked eye, accompanied by blood, and the whole body flew towards the direction of the black hole at the center of the galaxy. Seeing this, Chen Mu frowned slightly, and his thoughts moved. The three bodies returned to their original appearance. This is the control ability. Chen Mu stared at the three people, but found that their bodies had recovered, but there was still no light in their eyes, breathing, and heart, but no consciousness. Just like a vegetative person. Chen Mu opened the information database ability, but there was nothing in his eyes. The consciousness in the three people had disappeared. Although that attack did not hurt Chen Mu, it killed them. Chen Mu looked at the closing time and space gate with some displeasure. This revenge must be avenged. Thinking of this, Chen Mu looked at the three people in front of him. Resurrect them again, and then find trouble with those idiots. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 303. Simply using the control ability to piece together their bodies will not revive them. To revive them, their original consciousness is needed, but now their consciousness has fallen apart due to the impact. Chen Mu had a thought in his mind, and he thought of the time ability that he had never had the opportunity to use properly. Control time. Chen Mu's thought moved. Chen Mu's whole body was pulled into a time dimension space. Chen Mu saw a line with countless fragments. Through this line, he can see every fragment he has gone through from his perspective. In this time dimension, there are things that happened in the past and things that will happen in the future, but because Chen Mu's consciousness entered the time dimension, there is no Chen Mu consciousness in the future fragment, and only a supermassive black hole can be seen. Of course, Chen Mu did not intend to use this ability to go to the future. What he wanted was to go back to the past. Back to before they were killed. Chen Mu glanced at the fragments and the picture. He found the freeze frame picture where the enemy's time and space gate had just been opened. His consciousness directly drilled into that picture. In an instant, everything around Chen Mu changed. Because of the shortened distance, various cultures and technologies have been integrated accordingly, and the current technological development of the 7 planets is similar. A familiar voice sounded in Chen Mu's mind. He came back to his senses, but saw that the three beautiful figures in front of him were flying in the space, and it was Levi who was talking. Levi was looking at Chenmu with a smile and expectation on her face. Seeing this, Chenmu remembered. At this moment, it was when Chenmu asked them about the development of the civilization they created. And the enemy's attack came just after he finished praising them. Chenmu turned his head and looked at the void on the right. Noticing Chenmu's expression, Levi and the other two looked at each other, and then there was a hint of doubt in their eyes, and they also looked in one direction with Chenmu. Suddenly, over there, a time and space gate suddenly opened. A red light directly hit the four people. Chenmu did not move. This is a plasma beam, which has a physical destructive power and cannot cause any harm to Levi and the others. After the red light passed, the nine-tailed fox frowned. At this moment, the second space-time gate opened. At this moment, Chenmu moved. He pounced on the space-time gate. Under Chenmu's terrifying speed, the laser on the opposite side had not passed through the space-time gate yet, but Chenmu passed through it first. After passing through, Chenmu directly saw the oncoming blue beam. Information Library. The Information Library ability was turned on. The blue beam that Chenmu saw in front of him turned into a beam composed of 0 and 1. This blue beam is the consciousness-destroying beam. The only thing that can destroy consciousness is the consciousness energy weapon made of consciousness as material. After seeing this thing, Chenmu had an idea. The beam suddenly stopped. It turned into a blue light ball as big as a planet. Chenmu's Information Library ability can modify, copy, and erase the target consciousness. This kind of attack composed of consciousness, as long as the consciousness that constitutes it is not as strong as Chenmu's consciousness, then it will be controlled by Chenmu. Before, Chenmu ignored it because he knew that this thing would not cause any harm to him, so he ignored it. But Chenmu did not consider the three greens in that very short time, which is why this happened. Chenmu opened his consciousness vision. Through the consciousness vision, Chenmu could see that there were two artificial planetary weapons suspended in the air where the beam was emitted. But those two were weapons, and civilization could not live in weapons. Chenmu frowned. Life search. Search for the nearest life civilization. Searching. Searching successfully. Originally, the consciousness vision only understood these two artificial planetary weapons, but after the life search was successful. In the consciousness vision, a metal artificial planet suddenly appeared out of thin air. This planet was much larger than the two planetary weapons. Obviously, this is where the civilization lives. Chenmu narrowed his eyes. The energy bomb with the ability to destroy consciousness suddenly shot towards the artificial planet in the distance. At the same time, in Yai star, the three-dimensional Milky Way image was appearing on the table, and the group of Yai civilization warriors in front of the table were looking at the image in front of them. Suddenly, a voice sounded. It is detected that a high-powered consciousness energy is rushing towards Yai star, and Yai star is under attack. Hearing this, all the warriors of Yai civilization left at the same time, and they flew into the sky. In the eyes, an extremely huge beam of light could be seen falling from the sky. This speed was extremely fast. Almost in an instant, it enveloped the entire Yai star. Boom! Accompanied by a muffled sound. The entire Yai star was penetrated by this terrifying beam of light. Yai star was not destroyed, but the people living on Yai star fell one after another, including those Yai people who attacked Chenmu. This attack was too sudden. Yai civilization had no preparation, and in an instant, it suffered a devastating blow at close range, and this time was simply unable to allow the Yai people to make any reaction. Detect the target. Is there any life? Chenmu looked at the Yai star in front of him, which looked intact. Detecting. There is no life in the target planet. Done. Chenmu passed through the time and space gate and went back. After passing through the time and space gate, he saw Lve and the other two. When the three saw Chenmu coming back, they went straight to him. "Dad, are you okay?" There was worry in the eyes of the nine-tailed fox, and then she frowned, looked at the time and space gate and said, "Who is so bold that he dared to attack Dad?" Lve and Qing looked at the time and space gate, and their expressions were also a little cold. Chenmu looked at the three people. In this way, they are resurrected, right? This ability to control time seems to be good. Chenmu turned on the ability to operate time. Once again entered the time dimension. However, the scene in front of him made Chenmu frown. What is this? Originally, the timeline that Chenmu saw was only one straight timeline, but now this timeline is like a big tree with a branch. The timeline has become two timelines leading to the future. The future seen in one timeline shows the future without the three people of green, while the other timeline is where Chenmu is now, with the three people of green. This is two worlds. This is a parallel world. Chenmu was shocked. Could it be that the world I am in is another parallel world? Not the original world? In the original world, those three people did not resurrect. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 304. The time dimension is initially a line composed of countless fragments of images, which runs through the future and the past. When the past is changed, the original main universe timeline will be divided into two. One is the changed timeline, and the other is unchanged. This is because after being modified, the timeline changes, and another parallel universe is generated. What happened in the main universe timeline will not change. In other words, Chenmu did not resurrect the three people in the main universe, but just created another parallel universe. Although the Lvi and others in this parallel universe are also them, they are not the three in the main universe. It can be said that they were not resurrected. Really? Not resurrected? Chenmu couldn't help but feel a little unhappy. Not resurrected. For Chenmu, life is like grass, which can be destroyed or created at will. But Lvi and others are different. They are Chenmu's workers. It takes a lot of time to cultivate such a worker. Their value is much more expensive than those ordinary lives that can be created at will. More importantly, Chenmu is very unhappy. He spent so much time to evolve, and he couldn't even resurrect a few people after such a long time of evolution? No. No. There must be other ways. Chenmu fell into thought. Suddenly, Chenmu had a flash of inspiration. There is a way. Chenmu's eyes fell on the timeline of the main universe, looking at the picture of the main universe he had just left, and his consciousness entered that picture. The surrounding environment changed. Chenmu saw three bodies without consciousness lying flat in space, with no light in their pupils. He used the information library ability. Everything around him, as long as it had an information library, was digitized. Chenmu saw a little bit of broken information wandering in space. That information was the consciousness of the three women. Generally speaking, energy is conserved, and the lost energy will exist in another form of energy. Consciousness is also conserved. After the three of them were attacked by the consciousness destruction cannon, their consciousness was destroyed by the impact. The destroyed consciousness could not remain intact, so it was blasted apart, and this is destruction. If a person dies, the consciousness will still exist for a while, but if there is no condensed consciousness, then the consciousness will quickly dissipate and combine with the dark information in the universe, so there is no way to find it, but it is certain that these dark information exist, in another way. These destroyed information databases in front of us have long been torn into pieces, and it is almost impossible to find them. At least with the technology of Yaoi civilization, this is impossible. But for Chenmu, it is different. Shenmue used the information database ability to control all the destroyed consciousness information, and then pulled it back. Piece it together bit by bit. 3 bodies composed of consciousness appeared in front of Shenmue. Under Shenmue's control, the 3 bodies returned to the bodies of the 3 women. The 3 women's lifeless eyes slowly regained their luster, and they woke up. "What's going on?" the 9-tailed fox said in confusion. "It's strange, I seem to have had a dream, and I really want to see my father in the dream," the 9-tailed fox murmured. "Levi also came back to her senses, that shouldn't be a dream." Ching didn't say anything, but frowned, as if she was not feeling well. She looked around and her eyes fell on Shenmue. Ching's eyes lit up slightly when she met Shenmue's eyes, and she said, "Ancestor." When the 9-tailed fox heard it, she looked at Shenmue, "Dad." Levi also saw Shenmue, and she said, "Ancestor, ancestor, we seem to be attacked." Shenmue didn't say anything, he directly opened the time dimension. Through the time dimension, Shenmue saw that there were still only 2 timelines. In the main universe timeline, the 3 women have been resurrected. Seeing this, Shenmue breathed a sigh of relief. It's done. The function of the consciousness destruction cannon of the Yaoi civilization is to destroy, not the direct erasure of Shenmue's. If it is directly erased, no information can be found. Luckily, Shenmue closed the time dimension space and returned to reality. Shenmue looked at the expressions of the 3 women and said, "We were indeed attacked just now. Some people are itching for trouble. I'll go find them and have some fun. Don't hang around here. Go back." "Yes," Lve and Ching responded at the same time. The 9-tailed fox looked at Shenmue reluctantly. "Dad, can I come over later?" Shenmue looked at the reluctant 9-tailed fox and said, "If I want to find you, I will find you. You don't have to come." Oh, the 9-tailed fox was a little disappointed. Lve opened the door of time and space, and the 3 women passed through the door of time and space and disappeared from Shenmue's sight. Looking at the closed door of time and space, Shenmue retracted his sight. In the main universe, Yaoi civilization was not destroyed by Shenmue. Shenmue felt a breath of anger in his heart. He needed to vent his anger. After 2 attacks, Yaoi civilization stopped attacking. Is it because it takes time to gather weapons or because they are afraid? Whatever it is no longer important to Shenmue. In Shenmue's view, Yaoi civilization is over at this moment. Shenmue's consciousness returned to the black hole at the center of the Milky Way. After returning to the black hole at the center of the Milky Way, the angel body that Shenmue had just created was torn apart by the black hole at the center of the Milky Way, and it was directly broken and flew into the accretion disk of the black hole at the center of the Milky Way. Life Search cooperates with the control of space to locate the previously searched life civilization in the space dimension. Location has been located. Shenmue used the ability to control space to overlap his own space with the nearby space of the located position. In an instant, the black hole at the center of the Milky Way disappeared from the center of the Milky Way. Half a minute ago, the warriors of the Yaoi civilization surrounded the 3-dimensional Milky Way map and saw all of this through the screen on the table. Planetary plasma laser cannon is invalid. Planetary consciousness destruction cannon is invalid. One of the Yaoi civilization warriors, Yaon, looked at the instrument in front and said, "Hide the location of the planetary weapons immediately and eliminate all data after the launch." The instrument made a sound, hiding, eliminating. The 2 planetary weapons were released from the form of the launcher, returned to the original form of the artificial planet, and then disappeared into space out of thin air. Of course, they did not disappear, but were directly hidden by the Yaoi civilization using their high technology. When the planetary cannon is fired, the energy bullet will leave various information after the launch, and this information is also cleared. These 2 planetary weapons are the strongest weapons of our Yaoi civilization. This weapon is ineffective against that guy, which means that our technology is not enough to destroy it. It is best to stop moving now to avoid being discovered. This is the consensus of all the warriors of the Yai civilization, and no one makes sense. However, at this moment, warning, warning, suddenly, the instrument issued a series of warnings. A supermassive black hole appeared 80 million kilometers away from the atmosphere of Yai star, and the black hole is causing a tearing effect on Yai star. Hearing this, all the warriors of the Yai civilization changed their faces. They immediately left the meeting room and came to the air. Look up. In the sky, you can see a red accretion disk, and in the middle of the accretion disk is surrounded by a dark hole, which is the horizon of the black hole. Although it is 80 million kilometers in diameter, the black hole's horizon has already covered half of the sky of Yai star. The entire Yai star is shrouded in darkness. The Earth is cracking, and the entire planet is collapsing. The warriors of the Yai civilization looked at the black hole in the sky with fear and despair on their faces. Why? How did he know our location? Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 305. The surface of the entire Yai star was cracked, and magma gushed out from the ground. On the surface, the atmosphere of Yai star was torn apart by the supermassive black hole in the distance, and these atmospheres were mixed with the metal shell of Yai star's crust and flew towards the black hole. Shenmue did not swallow Yai star directly. All along, Shenmue thought that after so many years, his emotions had faded and gradually became without emotional fluctuations. But at this moment, Shenmue found out that he was wrong. At least, when he saw other civilizations killing people around him in front of him, he could feel the emotional fluctuations in the depths of his consciousness, very slight emotional fluctuations. But even if it was slight, in the already very calm lake, that slight emotional fluctuation was very clear. That emotion was called anger. For Shenmue, if the life he created died in a place he could not see, then no matter what kind of existence that life was, he would not have any emotional fluctuations. But when the life he created died in front of him, he would have emotional fluctuations. At this moment, Shenmue was not in a hurry to kill the Yai star civilization. He wanted to let the guys in the Yai star civilization experience what despair is. The black hole slowly approached, and at this moment, Yai star was about to enter the event horizon. The entire Yai star began to collapse. Yan, a warrior of the Yai civilization, looked at the scene in front of him, and his pupils trembled. Why, I obviously closed the space-time channel, hid the weapons, and erased the data at the first time. Why can he still come here? Why can he know our location? Looking at the supermassive black hole coming, in this very short time, the Yai civilization can no longer escape the fate of being swallowed and destroyed by the black hole. At this moment, Yan wanted to know why. The planetary hiding technology can hide our bodies and prevent us from being discovered by civilizations with the same technology as us or slightly more advanced than us, but some more advanced civilizations have technologies that can still discover us. A voice came from the side. Hearing the voice, Yan looked at the female Yai warrior Min beside him. Min continued, however, under normal circumstances, those super advanced civilizations that can find our location will not think we are a threat. Even if they find us, they will determine that we are not a threat and will not attack us. Therefore, the hidden technology of this planet is mainly aimed at civilizations with the same technology as us or slightly more advanced than us. But, obviously, we underestimated the technology of this black hole. Its technology is comparable to those super advanced civilizations. We are finished, Min continued. Yan's pupils condensed slightly, and he said, no, this won't work. We must escape, Yan said. After that, Yan directly communicated with the genetic technology intelligence in his body and said, I want to enter the subspace. Entering the subspace, the entire space of Yai star has been blocked by unknown space forces and cannot be entered. What? Yaan's pupils condensed slightly. Min, who was standing by, noticed Yaan's expression. She crossed her arms and said, "The space has been blocked. You can't escape." Yaan frowned, "Then use the consciousness body, use the consciousness body to escape." He gave up the carrier, and the consciousness body flew out of his body. He flew out suddenly, flying into the air. Boom! Yaan felt that he hit something and his whole body was bounced back. Yaan stopped moving, his pupils trembling. Impossible. Consciousness body has no matter, it is impossible for anything to block consciousness body. Yaan looked forward, and everything he saw made Yaan's face pale as paper. Above the entire Yai civilization, there is a layer of blue light shield composed of 0 and 1 data that wraps the entire Yai star. This is a natural prison composed of consciousness. The entire Yai star is covered by the consciousness prison. Yai star has become a planetary prison. Yaan's pupils trembled. No. Impossible. At this moment, nothing can escape Yai star. Both the body and the consciousness are bound in Yai star. The consciousness prison covering the entire Yai star was built by Chenmu using the information database ability. Chenmu's control ability can control all matter, and the phenomenon control can control all physical phenomena. And the horizon is produced by physical phenomena. Phenomenon control plus information database ability. The black hole horizon surrounding the singularity slowly changes its shape and turns into a pitch-black dragon in the blink of an eye. A black dragon composed of black hole horizon and information consciousness spans a full 200 million kilometers of space. All the people of Yai civilization in Yai star have no way to escape or resist, and can only watch the scene in front of them helplessly. At this time, Yai civilization activated all planetary weapons. Yai star is surrounded by a yellow dwarf star. Beside the yellow dwarf star, in addition to Yai star, there are also 9 artificial planets. Among these 9 artificial planets, 8 are planetary weapons. One after another, red or blue beams of light blasted towards the dark cosmic dragon. After the beams entered the cosmic dragon, they were directly swallowed up by the gravity of the black hole, and disappeared without a trace. Light cannot escape the gravity of a black hole. The cosmic dragon swam and approached the Yai star. People on the side of Yai star facing the cosmic dragon can see the dark dragon. The dragon's head is so huge that it almost covers the entire sky of Yai star, and it is still growing. The dragon's head is getting bigger and bigger, and it suddenly opens its huge mouth. It bites Yai star. Yaan's pupils are glowing with blue light. What he sees through the vision of his consciousness is not a black dragon, but a blue dragon. This is a blue dragon composed of information consciousness. In other words, this is a dragon composed of the black hole horizon and information consciousness. The attack launched by this dragon can destroy any matter and any consciousness. Ah, the people on Yai star screamed in fear and despair. Boom! The dragon bit the entire Yai star and the life inside it. After all the matter was bitten off by the dragon, it was torn into pieces by the gravity of the black hole, and all consciousness was directly destroyed. In an instant, the entire Yai star was swallowed by the dragon. It passed through the event horizon little by little and entered the singularity within the event horizon. The shape of the dragon changed back to its original sphere. The supermassive black hole returned to its original appearance. Chenmu looked at the location where Yai star originally existed. There was nothing in that location. Whether it was matter or consciousness, everything disappeared. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wu Nian. Chapter 306. After dealing with the Yai star civilization, Chen Mu returned to the center of the Milky Way and continued to devour nearby celestial bodies. As we said before, it takes time for a black hole to spread gravitational waves, because gravitational waves propagate at the speed of light. The celestial body closest to the Milky Way black hole is currently 500 light-years away. Other celestial bodies are even farther away. Chen Mu needs to leave the Milky Way black hole for 500 years before the gravitational waves that affect the celestial bodies disappear completely. It has actually only been 5 minutes since Chen Mu manipulated the space and moved his body to Yai star. Therefore, except for the destruction of Yai star, the movement of other celestial bodies in the entire Milky Way has not changed much. After Chen Mu returned to the center of the Milky Way, he continued to devour a new round of celestial bodies. Of course, the gravitational waves were naturally interrupted for 5 minutes after Chen Mu left. But the nearest celestial body will need to feel this 5-minute interruption after 500 years. However, the celestial body closest to Chen Mu was pulled into his arms and swallowed by Chen Mu using his spatial ability on the same day. However, although swallowing celestial bodies can gain progress in evolutionary energy, repeating such things all the time will also be boring. Because of boredom, Chen Mu has been swallowing while opening the knowledge base to study his abilities. Time passed little by little. I don't know how long it has been. Chen Mu accidentally opened the time dimension again. He wanted to understand this ability to control time again. However, when Chen Mu opened the time dimension, the picture he saw made Chen Mu stunned. There was a strange situation in the time dimension. At first, Chen Mu saw only one timeline, which was the timeline of the main universe. The last time Chen Mu went back to the past to revive Green and the others, he created a second timeline. In other words, under normal circumstances, there should be only 2 timelines when you come to this time dimension. But when Chen Mu came to this dimension, the picture he saw was completely different from what he imagined. Before, there was only one main timeline, and then the main timeline grew another timeline like a tree trunk, and the previous one overlapped. But at this moment, Chen Mu saw more main timelines in this time dimension. These main timelines are parallel to the main timeline where Chen Mu is. One after another main timeline is parallel to each other, and at the same time, other parallel lines are split from these main timelines. What's going on? Chen Mu was a little puzzled. At this time, a familiar mechanical voice sounded in Chen Mu's mind. This world has countless parallel universes, and there are countless you in these parallel universes. These timelines are your timelines in other parallel universes and the timelines left by the parallel universes they created. This is the system's explanation. Hearing this explanation, Chen Mu said, "Why didn't it exist before?" Before, it was because you didn't create a parallel universe, so you didn't turn on the function of the parallel universe. Hearing this, Chen Mu understood. It was because he accidentally triggered the function of the parallel universe that the timelines of other parallel universes were shown to him. The world we know is full of countless parallel universes. There is a you in each of those parallel universes. Everyone will make a choice. For example, when you were a child, your father asked you to go to school. Most people would choose to go to school, but you in another parallel universe gave up going to school. Different choices lead to the birth of a parallel universe. The you in that timeline will also change in the future. The same is true for Chen Mu. In those parallel universes, there are countless him. After Chen Mu glanced at the timelines of those parallel universes, he was too lazy to pay more attention. No matter what the other parallel universes are doing, it has nothing to do with him. Chen Mu has no interest in them. He just wants to swallow this galaxy first. Chen Mu exited the time dimension space. However, as soon as he exited the time dimension space, he heard a voice. Stop! A voice sounded in Chen Mu's mind. This voice is very strange. It was so strange that Chen Mu was a little puzzled. Because, this voice is completely Chen Mu's own voice. Could it be? Chen Mu looked at the source of the voice. Seeing this, Chen Mu was stunned. A familiar figure stood in front of the black hole. There stood a man. This man looked exactly like Chen Mu as a human. He was wearing a silver mecha, holding a gun, flying in the air, staring at Chen Mu. I am Chen Mu from the B19 universe. What you are doing now is a wrong thing. I hope you can stop your behavior, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. As he said, he raised his hand and pointed the gun at Chen Mu as a black hole. Chen Mu fell into silence. B19 was wearing a high-tech mecha and a helmet. Logically, this guy should be from a parallel universe, that is, the same existence as himself. But why is he dressed like this? And, what? He felt that what he was doing now was wrong. Chen Mu adjusted his emotions, and subconsciously used the information database ability to invade B19's information database. Without any obstacles, he saw B19's memory through the information database. In an instant, Chen Mu finished reading all of B19's memories. B19's childhood was completely different from Chen Mu's. B19's parents loved him very much, and his sister had a good relationship with him. B19 grew up in a warm family, while Chen Mu's father had died in a car accident, leaving only his mother and sister who had almost never stayed at home. The three of them depended on each other, and his mother treated Chen Mu with indifference. B19 and Chen Mu's childhoods were different. Later, B19 also obtained the system, and he used this system to do many things that benefited human society, helping humans develop technology, and then studying technology with humans. Just a month ago, B19 discovered the existence of parallel universes through technological development, and at the same time, human civilization in the universe where B19 was located could use technology to travel through parallel universes. B19 came here with the help of the instruments developed by science and technology. Yesterday, B19 discovered the parallel universe, and through the parallel universe he discovered the existence of Chen Mu. When he saw Chen Mu devouring the Milky Way, he couldn't stand it. So that's it, Chen Mu muttered. When B19 heard Chen Mu say this, he frowned and said, I don't know why you do this, but the Milky Way is our Milky Way, and there are many of our friends, many civilizations, and many lives in it. If you swallow the entire Milky Way, it will cause the lives of those civilizations to die. Are you so cold-blooded? Now, either you stop or I will go to war with you, B19 said. I have studied a lot of technology over the years, and you just swallow blindly. You can't beat me, do you know? Really, Chen Mu said lightly. As Chen Mu's voice fell, the gun in B19's hand slowly turned into dust and slowly dissipated. B19's pupils condensed slightly, and he saw that his hand holding the gun was also slowly turning into dust. This, my ability to adapt instantly, what's wrong? How is this possible? B19 stared at Chen Mu and said, what did you do? He probably never expected that his ability to adapt instantly would fail. Chen Mu ignored B19's question. B19's body and consciousness turned into invisible things and dissipated in this universe. Looking at the dissipated self, Chen Mu muttered, I didn't expect that there would be such a me in other parallel universes. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wu Nian. Chapter 307. Judging from the information base obtained from B19. Chen Mu from the B19 parallel universe has always acted from a human perspective. B19 is not like Chen Mu, who only wants to evolve, so the abilities in the system that B19 has are still the original abilities. Chen Mu's system has been upgraded many times, and now all the abilities Chen Mu possesses will become more powerful as Chen Mu's evolutionary energy increases. The capabilities of B19's system cannot be stronger than Chen Mu's, and can only be completely crushed by Chen Mu. Chen Mu still knows. This is the first time B-19 has come into contact with himself, and before this, B-19 has come into contact with many other Shenmue in parallel universes. It is difficult to change a person's personality after he or she reaches the age of 18. Therefore, the countless parallel universe timelines that Shenmue split into after he turned 18 were numbered. Each number represents a parallel universe, and Shenmue will use this number to call each other for identification. From the memories seen in B-19's information database, Shenmue discovered that the personalities of himself in each parallel universe would be somewhat different. Some are lazy, some are smart, some are kind, some are evil, they are all there. But without exception, they all have systems, but because of their personalities, the methods they use are different from Shenmue. Just like that guy B-19, he didn't evolve for the sake of evolution at all, but regarded himself as a human being and used the system's functions to help his fellow humans. In Shenmue's opinion, that guy had some serious brain disease. However, this was also the influence of the environment around B-19 that led him to have that kind of thinking. But it was because of this that B-19 took the same time as Shenmue, but was infinitely weaker than Shenmue. At the same time, Shenmue also knew one thing. The universe he was in was the Z4 universe. Of course, this was not important. Shenmue was too lazy to think about it. He continued to devour the celestial bodies in the Milky Way. I am me. As for the other selves in other parallel universes, even if they have the same name, look the same, and have systems, they are them and I am me. Shenmue only does what he thinks is right. As for other things about Shenmue, he has no interest in paying attention to them or knowing about them. As long as they don't bother him, he can choose to ignore them. But it is obvious that when the parallel universe is opened, even if Shenmue just wants to continue his devouring, it is impossible. Because, at the moment when Shenmue planned to continue devouring celestial bodies in the Milky Way, there was another abnormal fluctuation in space. Shenmue saw a door to time and space opened. A figure appeared in front of Shenmue. This is a woman wearing a mecha suit similar to B-19. On top of the mecha suit, there is a transparent cover that wraps her head. Her appearance can be seen through the cover. This is a beautiful pretty face, but this pretty face only has anger at the moment. She held the gun and stared at Shenmue as a black hole. After appearing, without saying a word, she directly faced Shenmue and pulled the trigger. Who is she? Shenmue didn't need to go through the other party's information database, he knew who she was. Because her identity is in B-19's information database. Liwen, B-19's comrade and wife. She obviously saw the scene of Shenmue killing B-19 through the instrument, and came over on impulse. The gun shoots out a beam of light, which shoots towards the black hole. The light is directly swallowed after entering the black hole's horizon, but the beam attack is Shenmue's consciousness. In physical form, the beam was gone. But through the information base ability, you can see that the blue beam composed of 0 and 1 continues to move forward, shooting towards Shenmue's consciousness at the singularity. The light hit Shenmue's consciousness. The information database was attacked and the damage was 1 in a billion. The damaged locations are slowly spreading and are being repaired. Repair successful. Listen to the sound coming from the system. Shenmue knew that this attack was of no use to him. The weapon Liwen holds is a consciousness attack weapon. This thing is different from the consciousness attack weapon of the Yaoi civilization that Shenmue encountered before. This attack weapon is similar to a virus. Consciousness virus, implant the consciousness virus directly into the enemy's consciousness, and then destroy it. This weapon looks small but is enough to kill most lives. But it was impossible to kill Shenmue, who had a huge amount of life. When Liwen saw that Shenmue was okay, she gritted her teeth and continued to attack Shenmue. Death! She shouted. But she could no longer fire the second shot. The gun in her hand, along with her body, turned into dust and slowly dissipated into the space. The conscious body also disappeared little by little. At this point, it should be over, right? While Chen Mu was thinking, suddenly countless time and space fluctuations appeared next to him. Gates of time and space were opened one after another, and groups of guys wearing mecha suits appeared from the gates of time and space. After this group of people appeared, they attacked Chen Mu without saying anything to Chen Mu. After understanding this group of people, Chen Mu recognized their identities. This is a relative of B19. Chen Mu has lived for such a long time, immersed in evolution, and B19 spent the same time as Chen Mu. His system has not evolved, but he has many wives and many children. In more than 200,000 years, the children of B19 can already cover a planet. Chen Mu was attacked countless times, and blue beams shot at Chen Mu as a black hole. They attacked Chen Mu's consciousness. These guys from the B19 universe, some drove warships, some wore mechas, and some held heavy weapons. There were so many of them that it seemed like an interstellar war was about to begin. Or, this was an interstellar war. Each of them was facing a great enemy. Facing the war launched by these guys to avenge B19 and Liwen. Chen Mu just had an idea and used his control ability and information database ability. These densely packed guys in front of him, together with their bodies and consciousness bodies, turned into dust and disappeared in this space. Those guys watched their companions disappear, and there was a hint of shock in their eyes. Why not? Why can't the weapons deal with him? Amid various questions, these lives disappeared bit by bit. Finally, the surroundings calmed down again. The Milky Way continued to rotate, and one celestial body after another entered the black hole at the center of the Milky Way and was swallowed by it. The Milky Way is very large. Even if Chen Mu could manipulate space to swallow these celestial bodies, it would take a very long time. During this long time, Chen Mu studied the abilities given by the system while feeling the accumulation of evolutionary energy. Until one day, Chen Mu felt the familiar spatial fluctuations again. He saw a guy who looked exactly like him appear in front of Chen Mu. Chen Mu's heart moved. Another one is coming. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 308. This one is different from the previous B19. He was not wearing any mecha suit, but was flying in the air in the form of an ordinary human being. Behind him, there were two soldiers wearing black mechas with their entire heads hidden in helmets and holding guns. He looked at the black hole and said, Z4 Chen Mu is the black hole Chen Mu. This is the first time I have seen the black hole Chen Mu. You are so unique, he said with a smile. With so many parallel universes, there are very few Chen Mu who would turn himself into this. Chen Mu in each parallel universe is different. Because they are different, the choices of Chen Mu in other parallel universes will also be different. Chen Mu in this universe chooses to change his form naturally through evolution, while Chen Mu in other universes will also turn into various things, but most of them will become humans. It is extremely rare for someone like Chen Mu to become a black hole. Chen Mu was not interested in hearing his evaluation of himself at all, so he ignored him. The guy saw that Chen Mu ignored him, and he said with a smile, "Let me introduce myself first. I am from F89. I am Chen Mu from the F89 parallel universe. You can just call me F89. At present, some powerful Chen Mu are united together. Prepare to form a free alliance so that we can gather strength to fight against the Chen Mu alliance that is being established. Look, are you interested in joining this Freedom Alliance?" According to F89's information base, Chen Mu knew what he wanted to do. At present, because all parallel universes are connected together, every Chen Mu has a system. After hundreds of thousands of years of development, every living Chen Mu has become some powerful existence with the help of the power of the system. Among those Chen Mu in Mu's parallel universe, few other beings can threaten them. The only one who poses a threat to them is Chen Mu from other parallel universes. Now, some Chen Mu, who has a more humanistic personality, feels it is necessary to use his own power to form a Chen Mu alliance to restrain Chen Mu in other parallel universes and prevent them from doing bad things. But there are also Chen Mu who likes to destroy evil. Naturally, they don't want to be restrained, so they want to set up a free alliance to fight against the Chen Mu alliance. In their view, Chen Mu, who is located in the Z4 universe, wants to devour the entire galaxy regardless of the survival of other civilizations in the galaxy. This is extremely evil. He will definitely join the Liberty League. In all this, Chen Mu has read what he wants to know from F-89's information database. F-89 doesn't even need to say anything. Chen Mu spoke up. Roll. Hearing this, the smile on F-89's face suddenly froze, and he frowned. He adjusted his mood slightly, smiled again, looked at the black hole in the center of the galaxy, and said, "Brother, idiots in other parallel universes are now establishing an alliance, saying that they must maintain the order of all parallel universes and avoid damaging Chen Mu. Destroy the order of the parallel universe. We are all Chen Mu who long for freedom. If you want to devour the entire galaxy now, you will definitely provoke those idiots, and they will definitely come to you. The only one who can restrict Chen Mu is Chen Mu. You and them are both Chen Mu. Don't think that they can't deal with you if you become a black hole," F-89 said with a smile, "but if you join the Freedom Alliance, we can fight against each other together. If we help each other, we will definitely be able to deal with them." As the black hole in the center of the galaxy, Chen Mu's whole body glowed with golden light. He said, "I remember, since you also have a system, you also have a certain amount of evolutionary energy. Now that you are here, you might as well become my energy." F-89's smile suddenly disappeared. From what Chen Mu said, he heard something that made him very uneasy. "This guy in front of me is going to eat him." He frowned, "You lunatic. Let's go." He was about to leave. But his expression suddenly changed, and he came to his senses, only to find that he was less than 1 meter away from the black hole's horizon. The space has changed. F-89's pupils condensed slightly, looking at the extremely huge black hole in front of him. "You guy, can change other people's spatial positions." Suddenly, F-89 felt a terrifying force coming. He was shocked to find out. The ability to adapt instantly has failed? Why? Before he even had time to think, his entire body was torn into pieces by the black hole's horizon, and his body flew into the black hole. And his conscious body was also swallowed up by Chen Mu's consciousness. At the same time, the two mecha warriors following F-89 were also thrown into the black hole. When the gravity of the black hole's event horizon cracked their helmets, their appearance was revealed. Those two mecha warriors were also two Chen Mu. In an instant, 3 Chen Mu were swallowed up by the black hole's horizon at the same time and submerged into the black hole at the center of the galaxy, becoming part of Chen Mu's evolutionary energy progress. The black hole continues to glow with golden light, devouring other celestial bodies around the Milky Way. Chen Mu has already made up his mind. He has no interest in paying attention to the Chen Mu in other parallel universes. Of course, if those guys who are not discerning come to trouble him, he doesn't mind devouring them either. Although Chen Mu from other parallel universes has completely different personalities and IQs, their systems have evolved less times and have less evolutionary energy. It is not as good as Chen Mu's 1/1000th of evolutionary energy at this moment, nor as much as the evolutionary energy possessed by any celestial body in the Milky Way. But since the food is delivered to your door, if you don't eat it, it's free. At the beginning, all the Chen Mu's in the parallel universes had the same system, but because of different development, the system capabilities also had different levels. Chen Mu could use his own system capabilities to arbitrarily remove the instantaneous adaptability of other Chen Mu's, but the other party had no way to limit Chen Mu's system capabilities. Because the strength of the two systems was too different. Time passed little by little. Chen Mu continued to devour the celestial bodies in the Milky Way, and he was not idle every moment. At the same time, the so-called Chen Mu Alliance has been established. The Chen Mu Alliance is located on a planet in an artificial planetary system. In the alliance, as the commander-in-chief of the Chen Mu Alliance, G15 Chen Mu was sitting in front of the three-dimensional Milky Way map. He looked at the Milky Way in front of him and frowned. This Milky Way is the Milky Way of the Z4 universe. It can be seen that the celestial bodies in this Milky Way are madly pouring into the center of the Milky Way. Commander, Z4 is still devouring celestial bodies in the Milky Way. He has destroyed thousands of civilizations. Shouldn't we take action against him? Assistant Li Wen looked at the map and looked at G15 and asked. G15 frowned and said solemnly, "We discovered the parallel universe of Z4 through scientific means, but we know too little about Z4 Chen Mu. B19 took many people there once before, and everyone died. His body is a black hole, and physical attacks are probably ineffective against him. Our only hope is consciousness weapons, but when B19 attacked Z4 before, he used consciousness virus weapons, but it had no effect on him. Our attack methods are useless to Z4. At present, I don't know what weapons can cause damage to Z4, so I can only watch it for the time being. At present, all Chen Mu in the Chen Mu Alliance have not evolved the ability to control time. The reason why they can use parallel universes is because of hundreds of thousands of years of research on technology. Therefore, they can find the parallel universe where Chen Mu is, and they can also go to Chen Mu's parallel universe, but they can't see Chen Mu's timeline. They don't know about Chen Mu. Li Wen can only remain silent. G15 said, "We have to do some research and observation first. As long as the time is right, I believe there will be a chance to deal with him." "Yes," Li Wen responded. "That's it?" Chen Mu was calm for a long time. During this long time, almost all the celestial bodies in the Milky Way were absorbed by Chen Mu. At this time, Chen Mu heard a familiar voice. "The current progress of evolutionary energy is 100%, start evolution." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 309. Chen Mu's consciousness disappeared. And in the outside world, there was only one black hole left in the original Milky Way and some celestial bodies where the civilization created by Chen Mu was located. It turned out that the silver swirling disk no longer existed. However, at this moment, the supermassive black hole, which had become extremely large, glowed with bright golden light at this moment. The light slowly spread out, forming an oval golden disk with a thick center and thin edges spanning 100,000 light-years in diameter. Then, within the golden disk, colorful dust clouds appeared. In those colorful dust clouds, new stars, planets, and satellites began to breed. One after another, celestial bodies were rekindled in this golden disk, illuminating the dark space. At the same time, inside the headquarters of the Chen Mu Alliance, as the commander-in-chief, G15 looked at the pictures in front of him. He stood up from the bench and looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. This is. In the picture, stars one after another are lit up in the golden disk. Creation, Z4 is creating galaxies. G15 looked at the scene in disbelief. Time passes little by little. I don't know how many years have passed. As the golden disk dissipates, Chen Mu's consciousness slowly recovered. As soon as he recovers, he opens his consciousness. He looked at himself to see what he had become. However, when Chen Mu opened his consciousness, he found that the angle of his consciousness was outside the galaxy where he was. What he saw was a galaxy slowly rotating around a supermassive black hole. This is not the Milky Way, but a brand new galaxy. It is made up of many young objects, and the stars are emitting extraordinarily bright light. At this time, a familiar voice sounded in Chen Mu's mind. Congratulations on completing your evolution, you have obtained the evolution reward, and all your abilities have been upgraded to galaxy-level abilities. Galaxies contain a variety of celestial bodies, such as satellites, planets, stars, white dwarfs, neutron stars, black holes, dust clouds, etc. These celestial bodies all revolve around a common center of mass, forming an extremely huge behemoth, which is a galaxy. In fact, we often say that all celestial bodies in the solar system revolve around the Sun. This is a generally accepted statement, but if we use a more rigorous statement, that is to say, the solar system revolves around the common center of mass of the entire solar system. This common center of mass counts all the celestial materials in the solar system together, and the center of these materials is the center of mass. All the celestial bodies in the solar system rotate around this center of mass. Because the mass of the Sun is so large, the position of the common center of mass is within the Sun, so it seems that the celestial bodies in the solar system revolve around the Sun. Just like the galaxy, all the celestial bodies in the galaxy revolve around the center of mass of the entire galaxy and all the matter. The center of mass of a galaxy is generally located within the supermassive black hole in the middle, so we would think that galaxies revolve around a supermassive black hole. We can look at the solar system as a whole. Similarly, we can also think of the galaxy as a whole. But at this moment, after Chen Mu evolved again, he became an entire galaxy. Because, through Chen Mu's information database ability, he can see that all celestial bodies in the entire galaxy have turned into blue data composed of 0 and 1. The blue data of 0 and 1 is his consciousness. In other words, his information consciousness has filled the entire galaxy in front of him. At this moment, the entire galaxy is Chen Mu's body, no longer just the central black hole. After realizing this, Chen Mu was briefly surprised. After being surprised, he returned to calm. Chen Mu has thought about what he will become next time he evolves. Now that he has transformed into a galaxy, it is not so strange. At the same time, above the moon, Lu Yi sat in front of the dressing table and looked at the delicate and beautiful face in the mirror. She said, "What are the names of the things Hong Shang studied?" Behind Lu Yi is an angel named Kingxiu. She is holding a comb to comb Lu Yi's hair. Her expression is respectful. As she combs, she says, "That is material recombination technology, which can change the most basic aspects of matter form, and then turn one substance into another substance, or turn a known substance into a brand new substance." Currently, he uses material recombination technology to create shield silver, a new substance that can withstand stellar heat. Lu Yi looked at himself in the mirror and said, "In other words, plasma weapons can't do anything to him." Kingxiu said, "Yes." Lu Yi smiled, "Yes, technology is getting stronger and stronger." Looking at Lu Yi's expression, her delicate eyes were filled with doubts. "Why? Hong Shang has different ideas from ours. He can be said to be our potential enemy. His technology has become stronger, which is not a good thing for us." "You seem to be very happy." Kingxiu was a little confused. Lu Yi smiled and said, "As long as he comes from the 7 planetary civilizations, no matter whether he is evil or good, as long as technology can improve and progress, I will be happy." Kingxiu was a little confused, but the technology he possesses will be aimed at those kind people at any time. Through the reflection of the mirror, Lu Yi looked at Kingxiu, who was full of confusion, and she smiled, "If you live for 3.7 million years like me, you will understand my thoughts?" Looking at Kingxiu's puzzled expression, Lu Yi retracted her gaze, looked at herself in the mirror, and said with a smile, "You should also study it. Use the knowledge base to study the material reorganization technology. Although I disdain that kind of technology, I don't want our angels to lag behind the technology of other civilizations. Hearing this, Qing Xiu's eyes lit up and said, yes. Lve looked at herself in the mirror and said in her heart, Ancestor, did you hear it? The civilization you let us create has mastered the technology similar to atomic creation. I believe that if they are given more time, they can grow to another level. This should be what you want to see the most, right? It's just, Ancestor, where have you been? Your consciousness has disappeared for more than 3 million years. Although stars have been born again and galaxies have reappeared, we have never seen you. We all miss you very much. At the same time. Dong dong. At this time, there was a knock on the door. Hearing this voice, Lvi looked towards the door. At the door, Angel Qing was standing there. Lvi said, you go down. King Xiu nodded, yes. She turned and left. Only Angel Qing and Lvi were left in the room. Qing looked at Lvi, her pretty face was a little excited, and she said, the ancestor is back. Lvi's pupils condensed slightly, and she stood up suddenly. Where? Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 310. Qing and Lvi spread their wings together and flew into the moon sky. If you want to see where Chenmu is, the best way is to use the information library ability. After Lvi flew into the air, her eyes glowed with blue. At this moment, Lvi's whole body has been changed by the power of technology. At this moment, her eyes are like Chenmu's super bionic eyes. She can see everything in the galaxy through these eyes. However, the picture she saw made Lvi's pupils condense slightly. Everything she saw, whether it was the moon under her feet, the Pangu star next to her, or other planets and celestial bodies in the distance, all flowed with blue consciousness information, which gave Lvi a sense of familiarity. Those consciousness information were exactly the consciousness information of Chenmu, that is, Lvi's ancestor. Lvi looked around and said in disbelief, the consciousness of the ancestor covers the entire galaxy. What's going on? Qing flapped her wings and flew in the air. She shook her head and said, I don't know either. Lvi frowned. She was a little puzzled, but she soon put aside her confusion. Her eyebrows relaxed and said, no matter what, one thing is certain, that the ancestor is back. As long as the ancestor is back, it's a good thing. Thinking of this, Lvi flapped her wings and landed on the surface of the moon. She placed her bare hands on the moon soil and looked at the consciousness information flowing in the moon. She communicated with the consciousness information below through consciousness, ancestor. At the same time, Chenmu was thinking about what he should do next, but before he made a decision, a voice came over. Ancestor. Hearing this familiar voice, Chenmu knew who was talking. It was Lvi. When this thought came, Chenmu saw Lvi and Qing on the moon in his vision. He saw Luyi squatting on the ground with her hands on the ground, her eyes looking at the consciousness in the moon. Luyi, what's the matter? Hearing this voice, Luyi's eyes lit up slightly, and her expression became more joyful. It has been 3.7 million years since the ancestor left. It feels so good to hear the voice of the ancestor again. 3.7 million years? Chenmu was stunned. Has it been so long? For Chenmu, evolution is just a blink of an eye. But the time it takes to evolve into a galaxy is a terrifying number. In a blink of an eye, 3.7 million years have passed. Forget it. For Chenmu, time doesn't matter. He said, don't worry about me. Time means nothing to me. No matter how long it takes, I won't die. Lve smiled and said, Ancestor, I can see your consciousness everywhere in this new galaxy. Does that mean, Ancestor, you are the entire galaxy now? Chenmu hummed and said, how are the civilizations that you are currently managing? Lve heard it and said, those civilizations have been scattered in most corners of this galaxy over this long period of time. Their technology is also growing. At present, their latest technology is similar to atomic creation. Although they can't create matter out of thin air, they can also transform known matter into new matter through technology. I think, if we continue to give them time, I believe that the technology they master can be more powerful. This is what you want to see, the evolution of life and technology. Hearing this, Chen Mu fell into thought. Technology similar to atomic creation? Interesting. According to the current development, as long as enough time is given, perhaps those lives can also create similar systems. Of course, at the current speed of millions of years to create something similar to the creation of atoms, it is estimated that it will take millions of years to thoroughly study all the capabilities of the system. Chen Mu doesn't care. As long as these lives are in this galaxy, these lives are equivalent to Chen Mu himself. After the birth of each life in the galaxy, the birth of each consciousness, their information database will be synchronized to Chen Mu's information database. Because Chen Mu is this galaxy. And the life in the galaxy is only a part of this galaxy. The technology they can have, Chen Mu can have. On the other side, in the high-level meeting room of the Chen Mu Alliance, a group of Chen Mu from different parallel universes are sitting around a round table. They are all staring at the three-dimensional map on the round table, which is the map of the new galaxy from the Z4 universe. Everyone has seen this. This is a new galaxy in the Z4 universe. G15 stood up and said, Z4 Chen Mu devoured the entire Milky Way. Countless civilizations in the Milky Way died because of his devouring. After he devoured it, he used the power of the system to create this new galaxy. As far as I know, he has created some stars and planets before, seemingly to cultivate his own civilization. This time, he created this galaxy, probably for this purpose. G15 analyzed it, and then he slapped the table. Bang! G15 looked at the people in front of him seriously and said, no matter what he does, the destruction and death of those civilized lives are indisputable facts. Z4 will not stop. Next, he will definitely choose other galaxies to devour, and this will inevitably lead to the death of more civilizations. G15 said, so, we must destroy him. He is evil. As he spoke, the picture zoomed in, and the image of the supermassive black hole with an accretion disk appeared in the picture. Chen Mu from T43 said, I agree with you. I agree too. The question is, how can we solve him? Also, I have a question, where is his consciousness? Why can't I see his consciousness? Can you see it? I can't see his consciousness either. That's strange. I remember that his consciousness was always located in the central black hole. G15 looked at Chen Mu, who was talking to himself, and said, after the emergence of this new galaxy, he hid his consciousness, but it doesn't matter. He will definitely appear again. As long as he appears again, we can use the consciousness erasing virus we have cultivated for 100,000 years to completely destroy his consciousness. This is a super evil Chen Mu, and the most powerful enemy we have encountered since the establishment of our Chen Mu alliance. But no matter how powerful the enemy is, it is not invincible. Our Chen Mu alliance has been established for more than 3.7 million years, and countless experiences have told us that we are extremely powerful and invincible. On the other side, as time goes by, the fact that Chen Mu turned into a star system was gradually known to people, including the nine-tailed fox. Dad, I heard from LVE and the others that those guys from the parallel universe attacked you. Dad, you have been away for so long, did you also go to the parallel universe to find trouble with those guys? The nine-tailed fox stroked the stone under her, her face full of smiles, and spoke softly to Chen Mu. When Chen Mu was bored, he would talk to her. Although the nine-tailed fox was not a chatterbox, she obviously liked to talk to Chen Mu, So after knowing that Chenmu's consciousness was spread throughout the star system, she began to communicate with Chenmu's consciousness with her consciousness. Even if Chenmu didn't speak, she always had a lot to say. Hearing the nine-tailed fox say this, Chenmu fell into thought. Although those Chenmu in the parallel universe were also Chenmu, except that they looked exactly like Chenmu, they were different from Chenmu in many other places. At present, Chenmu has nothing to do, and he has seen the timelines of Chenmu in those parallel universes through the space-time dimension. Most of these guys have never become planets. Some were even eaten by other animals when they became animals. Many Chenmu did not have the opportunity to evolve into planets. In other words, most of the systems of Chenmu in other parallel universes have not been upgraded. For Chenmu, they are just a bunch of garbage. The evolutionary energy they have is not as good as an asteroid, and devouring them is a waste of time. If they are recruited as younger brothers, the systems they have are garbage. If Chenmu wants some capable subordinates, he only needs to find a life he created and then share his system capabilities. Isn't that more fragrant? Moreover, parallel universes are being born every moment, and the number of other Chenmu is equal to infinity. You can't kill them all, and you can't collect them all. This is the parallel universe. At the same time, after waiting for a long time, G15 and others who still didn't wait for Chenmu to appear couldn't sit still. G15 stared at the nine-tailed fox in the picture in front of him, and he said lightly, in an extraordinary moment, use some extraordinary means.